welcome to Punters Inside Run. It's another massive weekend of racing, and I welcome, for the last time, Mick Sharkie. He's got some other pastures he has to move on to. Shark, great to see you. You were in great form last week, finding Hayasugi at huge odds to win the Blue Diamond, and congratulations on that.
Thanks, Matty. Yeah, it was a good result, wasn't it? We've managed to find a couple of nice price winners over the journey. So, yeah, Hayasugi, I think it was $19 when we were chatting about the race last week. So,
Yep.
yeah, she stuck her head down at the right time. It was a great win. Look, some of the colts didn't turn up, but that happens with two-year-old racing, doesn't it?
Certainly does, and there's one going around in Sydney called Storm Boy that everyone will just assume wins, but more on Sydney racing later. It's Australian Guineas Day on the weekend at Flemington, the Group 1 race there. You look at the betting and you see Riff Rocket at around 245, 250 in the markets or whatever. It's fair enough given what we saw in the CS Hayes, but is it a betting proposition at 6-4, or do you go looking for a V8 or a King Colorado or even a Southport Tycoon, sort of $7.50, $11 or whatever, because Riff Rocket deserves to be favoured?
Oh, I think Riff Rocket. Sounds like the dog from, what is it, Scooby-Doo or something like that? Riff Rocket? Anyway, he's the Derby winner, as we know. The win first up was awesome. I think he deserves to be favoured. I think he might just, he's a funny horse. He's won a Derby, but I don't think he's a stayer, Matty. I think this is an exceptional horse between 1,600 and 2,000 metres. I think he'll prove that throughout his career. First up win was great. He was soft on the line, wasn't he? He goes to a mile. He should be better. He'll definitely be fitter. I think he'll just roll around here and win. And I reckon after this, we'll see him in the Australian Cup.
Yeah, looks the one to beat. I'll be playing some Quinellas with Riff Rocket as my banker in that race from a betting proposition. We'll get to the Blamey Stakes, the other group, big group race at Flemington. And we've got sort of a tissue. It's an open race. A tissue is racing in the Blamey. Was a dual accepted to race in Sydney. You've got a few. I'm pretty keen on Danny O'Brien's one at Carini. Unbeaten second up, and it was a winner here over the 1,700 metres. But it is a very open race. Where did you land?
There's some friends of mine are in the ownership of Carini, and they've been talking for a week now that just have something on him. So if you like him, Matty, certainly charge in. The stable are confident. The owners are confident.
Mm-hmm.
Macram, I know he made headlines for winning at 100-1 and beating Jimmy Star at $1.25 or whatever crazy price he was. But this horse has genuine ability, and the thing about him is his second up form is very, very good. I think he's 3 or 2 second up runs in Australia previously. He's won them really well. Every time I see this horse, I just think, second up, I'm with you. So first up, I missed out, obviously, at the big price. Second up here in a stronger race, he's obviously come back probably better than we've seen him before in Australia. I think he's a bit of value at $8. I'm with him each way.
Macram coming off that win, I think the highest price bet there was 150-1. It was the Quaddy Killer, as everybody knows, but Macram at 8-1. What about your best bet at Flemington? I'm going to back one early, Sans Doute, down the straight. I like horses that can then continue to win down the straight and just enjoy that sort of type of racing. So that'll be my best bet at Flemington. What about you?
I think Riff Rocket's probably my best bet, but there are a couple of other players I want to have on the day. In race 2, Annabelle Neesham's got a horse called Claim the Crown. Goes around third up at about $6.50. I love it when this stable switches states with their horses, and I think she's found a really nice race for Claim the Crown. Too far back tempo against last time. I think Flemington will suit him. He'll be really strong late. And in the English Sprint, valuable sprint race, a big field and a really deep race, Raikoki, who we saw win the Sedative last week at Caulfield, he's likely to back up. He's around $10. He's a fast horse. His Sandown win was very good. He jumped straight to Group 3 grade and ran them ragged there. I know it's first time down the straight, but I just think he'll jump, run, and give them something to catch. Another good one at odds in that race, Midnight Opal, down towards the bottom, $21. Last time we saw this horse, she was charging home in the Crowley Stakes. It's a listed race, but it often produces some good horses throwing into the autumn. So I'm keeping an eye on that Crowley Stakes form, and I reckon Midnight Opal will run a good race in the English Sprint.
Once again, the Shark going for some value at Flemington. He's been finding it of late. Let's go to Randwick. We've got 2 Group 1s over there in New South Wales. We start with the Very Elegant Stakes. Fangirl just wins. She won like Winks last start. I mean, that was pretty impressive. You can't see her getting beaten.
No, I think she just needs to replicate that form, really. She's a mature man now. I think she's, in the peak of her powers. Chris Waller does such a great job with mares in particular. in bringing them through their careers. She was an exceptional 3-year-old. She trained on into her 4-year-old year. I think now we're starting to see the absolute best of Fangirl. She should be winning. I think Lindemann is the horse for the exacta if you like playing exotics. It's the horse that I'll just be blonking to run second in the exacta. He didn't have any room there last time in the same race behind Fangirl. Given more room this time and allowed to flow a little bit on speed, I think he can really improve.
The other Group 1 race there is the Surround Stakes for the fillies. I'd be interested in your thoughts on Learning to Fly. It was an excellent run first up. Just got beaten by Komochi, but it's a long spell. So there's that theory of not backing a horse second up after a long spell. But gee, it was impressive. It's a terrific race.
Great race. Yeah, I think it's an exceptional edition of the Surround. Probably have 5 or 6 picks and missed the winner. I love Learning to Fly as a 2-year-old. I thought she was the best 2-year-old of her year. Sadly injured in the Golden Slipper. Great to see her back. But yeah, there is that query, that second up bounce of a long break. I think whatever you do in the race, you have to have something on her. There's a horse, though, that I'm really, really keen to see this preparation. I think she's very, very good. Number 10, Roll On High. Wouldn't shock me if she ran a massive race here. I reckon Peter Moody, his fillies so far this prep, Molly Nickers, Autumn Angel, they're just taking that run. I think Roll On High is probably in the same boat. But follow her from this race. I think she'll go towards the Vinery and probably the Oaks. She's bred to get a little bit of a trip. I reckon she's a Group 1 filly in the making.
They're having something in Macarena for the Hawks Yard each way at around that sort of $8.50 mark. Didn't mind its first up run. I think it's got a bit of talent, this horse. But what's your best? I mean, there's plenty of group racing in Sydney. What's your best for Randwick on the weekend?
I think race 2, number 3, our Kobe's Son should be winning again. I know Moravia's in that race. It's a pretty smart horse. But our Kobe's Son... he just looks like an underrated sprinter. Came back in really good form. Beat Darlart, beat Dipsy Doodle. They're solid sort of benchmark horses. I think it'll be winning again. Look, the Guy Walters very even. I reckon a horse like Osbred Flirt could run well first up, Matty. But the horse we're all there to see, I think, as far as Randwick goes, apart from Fangirl, is Stormboy in the Skyline.
Yep.
It's a decent race. Prost goes well. Odinson's got form. Parkour's got form. But this should be continuation of the Storm Boys show. Let's hope that he puts up and wins by another wide margin and we really get excited going towards that slipper.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of punters taking the Storm Boy and Fangirl double there for
I think so.
For Sydney on the weekend. I think you mentioned our Kobe Son and Moravia. I think that's the Quinella of the day. One going up through the grades, one wasn't far off winning a Group 1 last preparation. So sort of the worlds collide there for what looks to me a really, really good Quinella in that race. All right, mate, thank you for that. And thank you for everything here on Punters Inside Run, mate. I know you've got a couple of other things. You've got your fingers in a few pies and a few farms and whatever, but we wish you well in the future and look forward to catching up for lunch.
Thanks, Matty. Yeah, it's always fun working with you, and I no doubt we'll see each other across the table at a long lunch fairly soon.
Happy punting, mate, and happy punting to all of you. That's been Punters Inside Run for what is a magnificent weekend of racing. Hope we've found your winner. Sharks always on the money, so let's hope we're celebrating come Saturday night.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.